Hello and welcome back to Sounds on the Couch. For today's interview, I'm very excited to announce our guest for today, Lawson from Sunflower. Kahlia and Lawson were the very first artists that I interviewed for Sounds on the Couch, and now Lawson is back with the release of their single Thin Skin, which was released at the end of November. Sunflower are a Brisbane, Australia-based group that have been described as the perfect storm of soul, pop and rock, rebirthing a classic sound with an added touch of high-energy modern flair. So let's bring Lawson in now. Hello, Lawson.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.
So for those who may not have had an introduction to Sunflower yet, would you be able to give them a little bit of background as to the band, a little bit of the history and the music?
Yeah, Sunflower is it was a unplanned occurrence, I guess, in a sense, because Kahlia and I met each other at Blues Fest last year, and we were in different groups that were actually competing against one another. So we were doing a busking competition, and basically the winner takes out a top prize, and then it was the top 6 that get to play Blues Fest, and both of our groups were in the top 6. So we both ended up actually getting through. And then I saw her perform for the finals and thought she was amazing. And I'd like to believe she thought the same as well. But when she saw us perform, yeah, we got talking, and then we actually decided to do a bit of songwriting. It's something I've actually never done, but actually collaborated outside of the group I was in, kind of thing. I've done stuff mucking around with other people, but Kahlia and I genuinely sort of decided, hey, let's have a go at writing a song. And we wrote the song called Golden Years, which is still, I reckon, one of our biggest, best songs, and it's currently just in the back pocket. But that was when we wrote that song, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after Blues Fest happened. We sort of thought, oh, okay, we've got something good here. And there was a lot of drama and chaos going on in our previous groups. So we thought, oh, okay, let's give this a go. And then the new year came around, 2020, with all it had to offer, and Sunflower, it was birthed. So that's sort of the way it came together.
Oh, it's so good. And I love, it's not the first time I've heard that story, but it's such a beautiful story. So it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any plans for that song Golden Years to be released in any time in the near future?
It's a big track. Like I've played it, we played it live a couple of times, and every time I've had people go, what was that last track? Because it's usually the big closer. And it is a slow burner, like it's an acoustic guitar with a bit of piano, and then it builds into this sort of epic, almost orchestral thing. But we're sort of holding off until we've maybe got a little bit more behind us before we put a track like that out there, because I really want to give it, everything's obviously about building to that next thing and the platform and all that, but I really want to give it the best shot possible. So that's the tricky thing with that one, is I don't want to, I know there's no better time now, but I don't want to surely say 21, but I just don't know if that's even true yet. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to hearing it when it's ready.
Yeah.
So last time you were joining us, we were discussing your single, Get Yourself Together. So much has happened for you since then. And it's been really amazing to watch. So what have the highlights been up until this point since then?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it does feel like it's funny, it does feel like a bit of a lifetime ago since Get Yourself Together. I think with everything opening back up, it's been really good for us, because we were struggling at that point. I think when we last spoke, we were really eager to be out there playing gigs again, and obviously we couldn't really do anything. We'd done a launch party gig for Get Yourself Together here in Brisbane, but we've played since then. We've done a number of festivals which have sort of come our way very luckily. We've been blessed that they've got us on board. We've got our booker in Melbourne. He's working really hard on trying to get us those kind of slots and stuff. So I guess for us, the opportunity to play, but not only just play to our audience, but play to so many new and eager audiences, has been massive. We did one festival on the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, and that was probably to about 5,000 people. So that was really big for us, and we could showcase all these songs we've been working on all throughout the year, but hadn't really had a chance to play for anyone yet. So that was really important. I think the other thing, that we found I guess since Get Yourself Together as well, it's just our ability to hone our sound in the studio has been a big thing as well. And we spent a lot more time trying to get that right as a band. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things I've felt is an achievement in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like with all the COVID lockdowns and the experience, like you put a lot of work in that time. Do you think maybe some of that work that was involved in the social media may have contributed more to what's happening for you now?
Yeah, I think it's helped. It's definitely helped build us a platform a lot better. Kahlia and I weren't going to let anything kind of slow us down in a sense, but obviously there was immediate general roadblocks in place that were making it a bit hard. But we sort of took it upon ourselves to readapt, I guess, and find ways that we can get our name out there by the internet. And it hasn't actually been easy. I still haven't quite nailed TikTok or those sort of short skit videos that everyone's doing now. So those are the kind of things I'm still learning on. In terms of like creating good content, I think people just want to see something that's raw. So we just, we're doing videos of us playing piano at my parents' downstairs area. Like they have this, my nan's old piano at their house, and we go over there and record us playing songs at that piano, and people seem to love it. So it's how a lot of them were written as well. So.
No, that's great. And I did want to ask you as well, because I know that when I look at your social media, it always looks like you're out there having so much fun. And, I think I saw a video of you parading around in a blue jumpsuit the other day as well. But how do you find constantly putting out that content and always sort of showcasing, that sort of fun side of yourselves?
Yeah, I like it. Well, you got to be in the mood for sure. But I was definitely in the mood for that blue, purple playsuit, or blue, whatever it is. Yeah, velvet playsuit. I think it's a matter of enjoying what you do and not forcing it either. Like we do work pretty tirelessly pretty much every day, just on like what's next. But at the same time, it's always a bit of fun to just sort of come up with some. It's never really even requires that much brainstorming. Sometimes it's just like, hang on, what do we do in the moment? That's just normal, interesting kind of stuff. But yeah, it can be. You can't force that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I think sometimes people might overthink it, and if you don't have the idea, it's okay. You just take a few days off, and the world doesn't shut down because you don't post every day. You know what I mean?
And I guess, if you are sharing those things that are you as well, it does come a lot more naturally.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Kahlia, I'm still trying. Like she's a social media whiz, but I'm still trying to get her around TikTok and doing like sort of skit videos and comedy videos. And she goes, "I'm not funny." And I said, "No one's funny. Like you're not meant to be funny. It's meant to be satire. You know what I mean? It's meant to be just real." True.
I do have to say I tried one of those TikTok videos and it's very challenging.
Yeah. Depends what you're willing to do. If you're willing to sell your soul, you can get away with it.
I also wanted to ask you a little bit about some of the fashion and things that you and Kahlia do wear in a lot of your videos and your performances. Like you've got a particular style and it looks very interesting, and I thought it was worth sort of bringing up. How do you go about choosing what you're wearing for some of these events?
We're actually going to go more intense on it than we are now, but mostly it's just color matching and do we go with warmer colours or cooler colours or whatever that kind of thing is. And obviously, and Kahlia and I have got a lot of outfits that have been made or we've bought that are in mind for like a cohesion in that sense. But we're actually going to try and do full in the new year, which is a bit of a top secret thing, but we're actually going to try and bring like a full band total costume set up to the stage. So everyone's going to be in. I love that kind of theatrical stuff. Like it's just sort of, it's just that next bit over the top. And some people look at you and go, what? But they'll remember you. They won't forget it. And that's the thing. I think not a lot of people are doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, it's amazing. I think it stands out because so much of what you're putting on social media, that's what people are seeing. You know, it does have an impact. So
the fashion is a big part of it for sure. I realize that more and more, like how important it is to it's not even that's all my wardrobe is these days, to be honest. You know, when you move house enough times and you just sort of gradually lose parts of your wardrobe as you move house, and you keep the important parts. You're like, oh no, I've got to take that, and then you forget about things or whatever. That's pretty much where my wardrobe's become what it is now. So, yeah.
No, that's great. And we'll jump into your music shortly. But just before we do, I just wanted to touch on, you've recently played the Lord Mayor's Christmas Carols in Queensland as well. And what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, really random for me personally. Kahlia loves that kind of stuff. So, I mean, as a band, we were lucky enough to be a feature act. So we were sort of one of the main acts that they were trying to showcase. Because we did 2 songs, we did Little Drummer Boy and we did Angels We Have Heard on High. Both classic Christmas bangers, of course. The greatest songwriting I've ever heard. But you know, I'm not really a carol-y kind of guy usually, but you know, it's a big production. It's a really cool thing to be a part of, and there's a lot of really talented people behind it as well. And it's everyone from not just the singers, it's the orchestra, the dancers, even the conductor was amazing. Like he was sort of super awesome to watch. And then you know, they did stuff that was like gospel. They did stuff that they almost covered every genre, maybe minus heavy metal, but it was a really nice mix. And a lot of the talent show people are there and all that kind of thing. So not typically my crowd, but you know, it was still good to sort of meet those kind of people and those kind of things, and I guess see what a big production sort of operate. That's the biggest thing I've ever been a part of, and I think we did a really good job. But you know, like going into that, we were sort of a rock band that's kind of just rocking up, doing the thing that we've got to do, and you know, doing a good job of it, but just sort of like. And it's like, no, everything's on a click. You know, everything's to, you know, a perfect T. And if someone's out, there's like, you know, someone in a tent somewhere is like listening with a earpiece going, you know, like.
Did you get people talking in your ear saying you need to get
Don't stuff it up. Don't stuff it up. Yeah. No, it was kind of good. The irony of it is I played like 3 chords the whole song that actually got televised. Like I didn't really do anything fancy at all. But, you know, it's all about the show and whatever else. So it was really good to be a part of. It's actually getting televised on Channel 9 across Australia on Christmas Day. So
fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be everywhere on Christmas Day.
That's huge. So, yeah, everybody check that out. And then you've recently released your single Thin Skin and the incredible film clip that went with that. Would you be able to let us know a little bit about the inspiration behind this song?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only speaking for Kahlia on this one because this is her track. I'd like to say we collaborated, but it really was her track. She actually wrote this. She wrote this as a bit of an ode, I guess, to a lot of people that we've had, including ourselves, that have just had a really, really, really turbulent year in so many ways. And, you know, even just down to, there's a little bit of, I guess, calling out tall poppy syndrome in this song too. And a lot of that, I don't know, it's a bit sad, but a lot of that I find happens up here in Queensland and in Brisbane. But yeah, she wrote this track because basically she was trying to say that in the long run, if you let yourself go mental and crazy, giving into, you know, like other people's taunts and chants and those kind of things, then, you know, you're not going to win. But if you just grit your teeth and get through it and focus on what's important, then you come out stronger for it on the other side. Like, it's not that it's not going to affect you. The day she wrote it, it sounds a bit morbid, but I actually had a guy I used to play music with, a saxophone player who I used to play with, my old band. He actually passed away this year, which was pretty full on at the time. It was really unexpected. And the day I went to his funeral, she wrote that song basically because I was just a bit of a mess. But you know, I was sort of just saying, I was a bit down on the dumps coming on about how hard the whole with COVID, obviously, like the music world is, and just how people even care anymore and all this kind of thing. And she just sort of she wrote a song like that, and then it was first time I heard it, I went, wow, that's huge, like some powerful shit. And I pushed for it really hard to be the next single, and then everyone else, no, it's a great song, let's do it, and that was, we needed to get it out before the end of the year, and I set that as a goal, and that's what we did. So really proud of it, to be honest.
And I guess you've touched on an interesting point as well, that, throughout as your music career is going on, these things happen often, which can be really hard for you to deal with. Like, how did you find going on with your music career and getting this song ready to release when you were going through that?
It was sort of hope, I guess, in a sense. Like, for me, it was like, oh, we've got something that we've got something that's gonna, say something good. And so much of like the whole purpose of Sunflower is actually to release music that's optimistic and hopeful, because there's a lot of music out there, and some of it's really great music, but it's all very, like, I'd say almost the majority of all music being created is somewhat negative in a sense, or a bit like, on the more pessimistic side of things. And the whole point of Sunflower is to release music that should be inspiring, that should make you want to get out of bed. Same thing as like our favorite bands and our idols have done for us, kind of thing. And so for me, it's like I wasn't like particularly emotionally triggered or anything by doing that song. I just knew that, and I think it's going to be a slow burner. Like, it's obviously been out for a number of weeks now, but I think it's still that song's going to carry through for quite a while. And as we meet and perform for more people, like, I think inevitably it's going to be a crowd standout. You know what I mean? It's just it's got to be. So
absolutely, no, it is a great song. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about with the film clip that you've put together. The style in itself is quite simple for those who haven't seen it, but also very captivating. Would you like to maybe tell us a little bit about putting the film clip together and the process for that?
Yeah. The film clip was, I love that film clip because it was done on a, shoestring budget, and I actually had to direct it in the end, not because I wanted to particularly put on the director's hat, but because we didn't have any money to pay anyone to direct it. But we had my mate Aidan McCowan. He did a great job actually filming it, and he was really adaptable. Like, super, take my hat off to him. He's in the corporate world of things like a lot of the time, but he came on board with an open mind, and he'd never done a music video before. And I had a bit of a story of the seven seas kind of thing to portray with this video, and we wanted to showcase a little bit of Brisbane as well. There's a line in that song that says, "We've been dreaming too big for the small town. Everybody knows everybody somehow." And I was sort of wanting to, it's a bit of a tip of the hat, but also obviously a bit bittersweet in a sense, like to Brisbane being home, and like obviously it's a small town, and there's benefits and cons to that as well. But I wanted it to sort of be somewhat the story of a girl who's experiencing the seven seas, and sort of by the end of it, she's empowered by the fact that she's traveled this total exhausting journey. She starts on the street playing piano to basically no one really cares. No one's really interested, and she takes off sort of, I guess, in search of what the answer to it all is. And I guess there's a look of confusion in, I think Kahlia did an amazing job acting in it, as well as a look of confusion and lostness in her eyes. And I think by the end of it, the general body language to Kahlia is a lot more, it's moved, it's empowered, the shift has focused. Look, honestly, not everyone's going to maybe pick up on that as well, but if you watch it sort of from that perspective of body language more than anything else, you'll see what I mean. And the whole thing's meant to be more like it's not meant to be an easy trump. It's meant to be like a story of someone coming from a really low position, and by the end of it, not that all their problems are solved, but they've sort of found some sort of peace with it all. You know what I mean? And that was the general idea of the video.
No, that's great. And how do you feel like the reception has been since you've put that out?
Yeah, really strong, really strong. I think, again, like, it's going to be one of those things, like, we're sort of somewhat laying low just this week with Christmas because, you know, whatever that is, people do that thing. And still through the new year, we're going to carry on through pushing that song. And then we'll be on to the next song as well as still pushing Thin Skin, you know, so it won't really, there's no real teetering point here. We just want to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance for that song to be heard. And it is, in a digital world, it is hard to buy real estate. People think, oh, you know, you got Facebook and everything, but obviously everything's limit algorithm reached and everything now. So, you know, for us, it's like the more time we can spend, I guess, refining the art as well, like making sure the product's really good. That's going to work in our favor a lot more. So we'll make sure through the new year we're going to do some really like epic. I can't say too much because I just want to keep it a surprise, but some really epic content. And I love that word, content now, to back Thin Skin and get it out there again even more. So, you know, I think there'll still be a lot to come from that.
Oh, great. And how do you think some of these processes have developed since we last spoke and you were on your early songs? How do you feel like you've developed in terms of being able to get your music out there and be heard?
I think as a band we're definitely a lot tighter as friends, as people. And how do I think that? Just crazier, just brainstorm more, just do more crazy stuff. Just think about things a lot, not too mad, but just a lot. More frequently and think about everything that we're putting out a lot more frequently and making sure that everything is, for the large part, like top tier. I probably should do that more in my personal life as well, but I don't really quite do that, but working on that as well. But, you know, we make sure, you know, everything's really, you know, especially the production things, you know, that mix for Thin Skin. The recording actually took a day, you know, 2 days, and it was more so the mixing that took quite a while, you know what I mean? And Sam, our bass player, Sam Woods, he actually mixes the tracks at his home. So that's probably where a lot of the process is being refined at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic. I think also you had a little bit of an early leak of your video as well. How did you handle that coming out early?
I think it was sort of planned, wasn't it? I think I don't know. I think Beck, our fantastic publicist in Adelaide, I think she. We'd sort of talked about it. I think we were talking about, you know, you just do a little teaser of the video and then drop the video in coming days. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It was just meant to spike up a bit of interest. You know how it is.
You do well.
Yeah, cheers.
Awesome. And you've got a tour coming together now as well in April, I believe. So that's really exciting that's happening, especially after the difficulty we have had in 2020.
Yeah, I know. Today is an awkward day to be even talking about it now, with obviously everything that's going on in Sydney. But we're super eager to be doing that. It's been a long time coming. It's actually, we're going to sort of make it a focus on a single that's going to come out in the new year. But we thought, you know what, like it's our first ever proper headline East Coast tour. We've played down the coast, but never headlining by ourselves kind of thing. It's just going to be the Sunflowers debut. It's an event, you know, it only happens once. So we want to do it right. To be honest, like either way, I know it's gonna be great, even if it is a seated sort of thing, whatever it has to be. Like it'll just be what it is, and that'll be what it is for the time. And we just need to, we're at that point now, we just need to do it and just, you know, take it on head on and just get into it and just have the best fun we can with it. And we're going to ramp the stage show up, you know, more theatrical kind of stuff going on, make it a real performance. I want people to feel like they got their money's worth when they come to that show, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Costumes and stage and everything, it'll be amazing. Okay, so if people are wanting to find the details for those shows, how can they look out for tickets when they become available?
They are available. They're on sale now.
Oh, sorry.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all good. That probably is a sign I need to do more advertising. They're on sale now. they're obviously the events are available via our Facebook page and Instagram via the link tree in our bio. There's links to every show there. Melbourne, we're doing 2 shows. We're doing an under 18 show as well as an all ages, as well as an 18 plus show. One's the under 18s at Wrangler Studios, and the overage one is at Stay Gold in Brunswick. So both really great venues. So they're both selling really well at the moment. We're sort of we're on track for a fully standing show as it stands at the moment. So that's what I'm praying for, touching wood. Yeah. If that doesn't happen, it'll still be epic, and it'll sort of be split across two. Sorry, don't mind my hair. I've got bed hair. Look at it. Look at it go. Really, it's
just run with it.
I don't usually have this Justin Bieber haircut going on, but you know what I mean? At the moment, it's just a little bit. Usually, I've got the Beatnik mod cut, but it's been too hot, so I don't know what's going on. I'll just go see a hairdresser.
Yeah.
And at the moment, say it'll be what it is, but I think we're going to be on track for a full capacity standing show for April. So
fantastic.
Very excited.
Yeah, no, it is exciting. And so beyond that, beyond the tour, what else is in the future for Sunflower?
Big songs, really. I can't tell you exactly what the future looks like. I wish I could, but I think 2021 for us is going to be a real year of working really hard and developing our sound further and making sure that we're getting that name out there to more people, but also creating a bit of a wider spread culture around Sunflower. For me, like part and parcel of the band and the reason I wanted to start the band is because I want to give, sounds very cliche, but I want to give the human race, like the human existence, something like exciting to believe in again. I just don't have a lot. Personally, it sounds a bit weird, but I don't have a lot out there like I believe in anymore. Like I'm a massive Oasis fan, and I think they for what they were during the time they were around, they were like they were really, people say what they want about them, but they were really optimistic. Like they gave people a reason to love life again, and their music sort of said that as well. Well, the music first and foremost said that. And that's the kind of band I want to be, a band that like makes people feel excited about living and existing and falling in love and getting your heart broken and being confused and butting heads with your best friend and whatever else. And I don't know. Yeah, I know life's not the prettiest at all times, but it's sort of giving it, in a way, taking the seriousness out of it too. You know what I mean? So that's what I sort of want Sunflower to ideally do for people. So getting that, whatever it is to get that out there, that's what I want to do in the future. That's what I want to do.
And yeah, I think that there's so many people who are sharing that kind of sentiment at the moment. So I think it's so important at the moment to be able to share that message.
Yeah, that's
great. Absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience before we finish up?
Other than, give yourself the time to listen to Thin Skin. Shameless self-promotion. Thanks for tuning in today, and I hope everyone has a really safe and exciting cruise for what it is, wherever you are in the world or in the country, and thanks for supporting like Aussie music as well. It's obviously taken a real hit this year. It's a pretty dire situation for a lot of people. I mean, I feel lucky in a lot of ways. Like I've been able to survive through it, and because I'm in Queensland, we had stuff open up a lot earlier as well, so I was able to sort of get out there and do some gigs. Wherever you are, whether it's a Sunflower gig or another local band you're keen to go see, or any Aussie band, international, interstate bands, whatever it is, like get along, get a ticket, and enjoy it, because you won't regret it. You know what I mean? It's so fragile, the whole thing, and but also so important. You know what I mean? And I think there's so many people behind the scenes who also make all this stuff happen that go unnoticed as well. And so thinking about how much those kind of people also make a difference to everything. Our publicist Beck, who obviously has been talking to you, like she's amazing, and she's been with us sort of the whole time, to be honest, since the start of the year. She's been with us down in Adelaide, working really hard on trying to get us out there, and she's done a great job. So we're really grateful to have her and everyone else that sort of helps behind the scenes involved. So yeah, any chance you can to get out to a show, please do.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Karen. Thanks to Sounds of the